And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
The Nut Job? Yes, there is such a movie, Mike. And it's a kid's movie, Mike. And,
no, he's seen a version of that.
And SpongeBob and all those, yeah, for sure.
Mike has seen a version of that one too called Sponge Job.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle, Season 9, Episode 1, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have an old man who either needs to up his dosage or his income. It's Mike McDonough. In the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who says he's never won a game of Notice Anything Different About Me? It's Mark, superhero Leonard. This week we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Terminator Genisys, or Genisys, or Genisys. I'm not sure. And Minions, and some TV in the form of Scream. We'll also have some news and some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So how are we doing? Welcome back. Season 9, Episode 1. You all hyped?
Yeah, pumped.
Yeah?
So pumped. We've already waited too long to talk about Conor McGregor.
Tell you what, you kick off there. I'm going to reposition this camera. I'm listening to you though. Go on.
Right, so for those of you joining us through the Periscope application, we have a prototype that Steve has built using mainly sticky tape and rust and connected it to his phone. It's basically, if you think about what the Apollo space shuttle would have looked like if it was constructed using no parts that cost any money.
That's right.
That is essentially what Mike and Steve are sitting inside right now at the Is It a Bicycle studio.
Yeah.
So when we iron out the kinks, and everyone knows that kinky is something Mike is a bit of a speciality in, then we will be going out live over the internet.
And actually maybe telling people about it. Yeah.
In audio and video. Well, consider this your fair warning. But what Steve wanted me to talk about was, at the weekend, UFC189, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
Conor McGregor is the new interim champion, having defeated Chad Money Mendez in 2 rounds, like he tried to bet Dana White $4 million that he would do.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Well, Dana didn't take the bet by all accounts. I think McGregor was trying to shame him into it for a while.
Yeah.
I suppose he is in Vegas. He might as well be a high roller.
Yeah. So were you expecting as quick a result, or did you think it was going to go 5 rounds? Or
I thought it would be short and a knockout victory for Conor, or long and a ground and pound victory for Mendes.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, all right. Yeah. Listen to
it was funny because my wife was obviously going to watch the fight with me, and I was trying to prime her. I was trying to arm her with mixed martial arts information so that the movements that were happening on screen would be familiar to her. So I was saying, well, what you're probably going to see is you're going to see a lot of lateral movement from Conor, because he's not going to want to be in front of the power double of Mendes. And I said a couple of other things that also didn't come to pass. But as the fight wore on, Michelle was looking at me like, did you used to do this, or did you just pretend? Because nothing you said is what's happening. But to be fair, it was a great fight. It was so exciting, but it was somewhat eclipsed by the fight that happened before it, and I guess we can get into that later. What I really wanted to bring up in this podcast was it was revealed in the MMA Hour yesterday with Ariel Helwani. I'm saying yesterday, so that will be on the episode of the MMA Hour on the 14th, that as they walked down to the cage to fight a Division 1 wrestler, possibly the best wrestler in Conor's weight class, they hadn't done a single round of wrestling in preparation for the fight.
I heard that already.
Because Conor's injuries prohibited him from doing that.
And did we find out what injuries they were?
John didn't want to talk about it, but Ariel quite rightly assumed it was the knee.
Right, yeah.
He just kind of went, it was the knee, right?
Yeah.
And then carried on.
Night,
John didn't correct him.
Yeah, we kind of figured that's what the problem would have been, all right. Yeah.
But he got the all clear 2 weeks out from the event that the injury was 100%. But at that point, they didn't want to stress it with sparring.
Right.
So, like, imagine.
I know.
Just imagine the concept of a fighter going into a championship bout over 5 fives with one of the best fighters in the world, no matter how you slice it, Chad is one of the best fighters in the world.
Of course. Yeah.
With no sparring.
Yeah.
Fucking Rocky did it. Rocky 7.
He do it. I was just about to bring it up. I said he obviously sat around building hurting bombs. But it's such an achievement. Such an achievement.
Yeah.
Right on the heels of and right on the heels of that, he's going to be coach for the next season of The Ultimate Fighter.
That's right. Can't wait for it. And that's going to be such a contrast with this year's muppetry that went on. Was not a fan. The best thing about this year's or this season was the finale, by far.
I haven't seen all the finale yet.
Yeah, I won't talk about it.
I didn't hate it as much as you did, Steve, that season that's just gone.
Just didn't like those people. It was the coaches. It was the two guys. I guess I was put off episode 1 and 2. It was nearly 90% of them talking, or Dana trying to up them. Up the competition stakes.
The rivalry, set the stage.
They just weren't nice guys. They were just, just assholes, really. That's what they came across.
I liked, is it Dan from American Top Team?
Really?
Yeah, I liked him.
All right.
What didn't you like about him?
I just didn't get that vibe. Yeah.
Like, he's a coach, like, and he just told the other guy, I don't like you.
Yeah,
I could fight you if I wanted to and I would win.
Yeah. I guess he wasn't the most supportive of people either. When fighters lost, that was the big issue there, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you need to have someone's back, not be critical of them.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I think so in that situation. Yeah, when they possibly could fight again, in a couple of fights' time.
Well, if the fight again thing is fair enough.
Yeah.
But like, if someone goes out there and they give it as much snot as they have in their engine, then absolutely you put your hand on their back and you say, dude, you could have done no more.
Yeah.
You're coming home on your shield. But when they go out and they try to have non-consensual sex with their opponent, and it doesn't amount to anything that looks like MMA, you don't fucking congratulate anyone for that. Like in the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
If someone on your team does something and it's shit, you don't say that's shit because that's not office okay.
Yeah.
But I think gym okay is a bit fucking different. Like.
Yeah. I just want to impart this bit of information to our listeners, or a certain email that I sent to you during the week. You were looking for a link between yourself and Conor McGregor, and you found one where you'd announced him into the ring.
That's right.
Did a bit of Googling, found the card for Ring of Truth 7, was it? Back in 2007? 6 or 7. And Conor McGregor was on the card. So he must have been about 17. And so headlining it were 2 fights. One was with Neil Seary, and the other one was with our own Mark Leonard.
Woohoo!
Yeah, which you won.
How about that?
Which you won. I think I remember that.
I did.
I remember the day you came into work. Was it the day, 2 days afterwards, and you're still kind of concussed, but you're trying not to let on?
No, that was a different fight. I didn't take any damage in the Ring of Truth.
Oh, was it the one before, was it?
Particular fight.
Yeah.
No, that was the fight. I had a really bad cold the week before.
All right.
And I didn't, for the first time ever, I didn't actually need to cut weight.
All right.
I was able to just get on the scales, and I was underweight because I was dehydrated from being sick.
Right.
And I knew going out there that I maybe had a good round in me.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't have 3.
Right. Yeah.
But at that stage, I said I'd see how I got on anyway. But as the gods of war smiled at me that particular day. But yeah, Conor McGregor was on the card. I don't know if I was at the top of the card. I have a suspicion I was at the bottom. And that Conor was at the top, but maybe that's just because we know now. But yeah, so we have an Irish UFC champion.
Yeah, which is amazing. Yeah, first time ever. Yeah,
totally amazing.
I actually added there was a forum discussion about Irish MMA and all the bandwagoneers now, and those who don't watch. Has anyone watched like Irish MMA and so on? I said, yeah, they're talking about for example. Anyone ever see?
We should all be wearing tap-out T-shirts.
Yeah. Anyone see or know of Tom Egan? For example. And I said, well,
I know that guy.
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, but anyone know of Tim Murphy? The first Irish BJJ world champion. Our Tim. Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, so I just said that there's a comparison. Look, if you look at the Premiership in the UK and with soccer and the Irish League. you know, how many people watch the Irish League. It's that kind of thing. It's always going to be, you're always going to look at the pinnacle of the sport, which in this case is going to be the UFC. So even Bellator
keep them jumping. I say keep them jumping on the bandwagon.
Absolutely,
build more wagons.
That's what I said. If people are talking about it, it's always going to be good because it's now genuinely mainstream. So what else we see while we're on our hiatus?
Hiatus.
My wife is slowly but surely catching up on Game of Thrones. We're into season 4.
Oh, up season 4. Oh, she started at the start. Wow.
Jesus, she's chewing that up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I've been watching them with her, so it's really good watching them a second time over.
Yeah.
Because like I do every year, I leave it all to build up and then binge watch them. Yeah. So that's like cramming for an exam. You don't remember anything when the exam's over.
So you haven't watched season 5 yet?
No, I told you that last week.
The
last time we recorded, I was letting you guys know that I have a full season of Game of Thrones still to watch.
I continued watching Wayward Pines. I'm up to date. I'm up to episode 8.
As am I.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah, and what do you reckon?
Oh, yeah. I was bought in since episode 1. Like.
Yeah, and episode 5 was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can understand you're saying that Ewan wasn't that impressed with episode 6. It wasn't as revealing or action-y.
Yeah.
But it certainly had its place. But I thought 7 and 8 again.
Oh, yeah, they're ramping it up.
They have me back in again. Yeah. It's great. It's great, Mark. You should get on it when you're done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm kind of gutted there's only 2 left.
Finally got to watch the finale of Gotham.
Oh, right.
Ah. That's something I thought we'd totally forgotten about.
Yeah. Is it any good?
No, I've been watching it fairly steadily. I like it. I like the way it's building up.
Yeah.
I think at times Gotham tries to be too much to too many and not enough to me.
Right. Yeah.
But no, it's good. It is a good show and it continues to deliver. I have also caught up, and I thought I would never ever do it, on Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's a bit of work.
So I've now seen every episode that exists of that.
You watched all of
it?
Wow.
Here's what you need to do, though. If you don't watch Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, right, watch one episode so you know who everybody is, and then follow Clark Gregg on Instagram.
All right. Okay.
Because him and Chloe Bennett, the two leads from the show, have been having so much fun on Instagram this past couple of weeks doing a Dub Smash. You know the Dub Smash application?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Haven't used it.
Well, it plays a sound clip from a film or a song.
Right.
And then it lets you lip sync to it and records the video, and then it'll replay it back. Okay. A video with different audio over the top.
Dub
and
Smash.
you can
Cool. I must give that a go. Yeah.
You can send it to your friends and all. But because obviously the cast of Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. are all actors and actresses, they're really good at this shit.
Yeah.
So they just did a great version of Queen's We Are the Champions that featured the entire cast of season 3.
Oh, cool.
So it's really fun. So I recommend it. Chloe Bennett or is it Clark Gregg?
Greg Clark.
Anyway.
Clark Gregg. Yeah.
Greg Clark. Either one. Either one. They're both great. So I thoroughly recommend it.
Tell me, have you been watching True Detective season 2?
I watched half an episode.
Yeah. Have you been following it, Mike?
I have it on link. I haven't got into it yet.
Yeah, but watch the first and the second, and it's really good.
Yep.
Really good. Yeah.
I've been hearing some negative stuff about it.
Well, it's dark.
Yeah. People are saying it's too dark and too...
It's like a dark LA Confidential.
Okay.
You know?
Maybe that's just the brightness in their TV.
Yeah. So it's... I think up to episode 4 is out at the moment, so yeah. Mike, tell us about Paris Je t'aime.
No, I'm not saying anything about that till Shona is back. I want Shona here front and centre to defend herself.
Okay. To defend herself for making you watch it. Yeah, is that it?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So the greatest show of last year is back for season 2.
The great Suits.
The Strain.
Oh, The Strain, yeah. I saw that, yeah.
You would probably call Suits the greatest show of 5 years ago.
Yeah. So The
Strain started last year. It's sophomore year this year.
Yeah.
Do you think The Strain was better than Helix?
Oh, far and away. Far better.
Okay.
Yeah. Sean loved it too, actually.
Yeah. I liked the first few episodes. I just didn't follow it. Whereas I binge watched Helix.
All right.
Yeah, like there's a lot in common between the two. There is a lot in common. There's two, Felix. Are you still watching it?
I haven't started the second season yet, but it's on my to-do list.
Very different. We watched 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 just to see how they were going to carry on from the finale.
Yeah.
To see if we'd like it. And I do like it, but it's very different. It's a different show now.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with shows reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But if you're looking for more of the same, I don't know if it is that. But I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Yeah, Mike, watch an episode of season 2 of Helix and get back to us.
Will do.
Do we have news, Mark?
I talked about Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I think that's news enough, isn't it, this week?
Started playing Batman Arkham Knight on the PS4, which I thoroughly recommend. Great game.
Is it good? Haven't seen daylight.
Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is the voice of Commissioner Gordon in this.
All right. And
as you might have, if anyone watched the trailer for the game, he's doing the voiceover. And the build-up for this game is, this is how Batman dies in Mike Ehrmantraut's voice.
Right.
So somebody on the good old internet took that clip, and one of my problems with the game is the Batmobile. There's too much Batmobile stuff. I want to be Batman. I don't want to be playing GTA Batman.
Right.
Okay.
Which is what it becomes.
Yeah.
So they got the line, this is how Batman dies. And then somebody drops the Batmobile on Batman.
Speaking of which, when is that movie at the Batman versus Superman?
Not soon enough.
It's getting a lot of traction at the moment.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be something if even I'm looking forward to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That trailer got me.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I want to see that movie.
But you're not looking forward to it the way like regular humans look forward to things. Like you just like you're vaguely aware it's coming, and if someone dropped you at the cinema around the time it was on, it'd be really handy.
Okay, speaking of action movies, let's kick off with Terminator Genisys.
I feel like that you just glossed over my video game discussion, Steve.
No, I just forced an end to it. That was.
I don't know if we gave it enough consideration. So the story is really good.
Oh, okay.
That I'm playing. The writing is quite good. Like just this morning, I had a real falling out with Commissioner Gordon, and to be honest, I'm not sure our relationship is ever going to recover.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman 2016, 25th of March in the USA.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you'll have to wait a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get Wonder Woman in before then.
I've got 8 episodes of season 1 stored up, actually.
Do you, yeah? Bet you do.
Yeah, fucking loving it.
Filth bag.
Of what?
Wonder Woman season 1.
They were showing it on the horror channel. The original
like
Wonder
the original
Woman.
from the 70s?
Yeah, the Carter, yeah.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
Fucking brilliant.
People watching on Periscope can see, but for those of you listening to the audio podcast, the guys are blocking imaginary bullets with their imaginary gold bangles.
What I'd completely forgotten, because we were watching at the start of, was it episode 1?
That was episode 1.
Yeah,
it was kickoff.
I'd completely forgotten that she had an invisible airplane.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Glass airplane, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was so fucking sexist. Jesus.
There's
no way you
but
get
that was
away
the whole
with that
point
now,
at the time, you know. She's a super woman.
Yeah, she's a woman. Holy shit.
And she's super.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, so, before we get in trouble, we'll move on.
Yep.
Because Shona would have her
How could we
guts
get
for
in trouble?
Carter.
Shona's not here.
Shona, she'll kill us. She knows where we live.
Yeah.
So,
Where you live, maybe.
Terminator Genisys. Right. What do we think? Mark, tell us about it.
Terminator Genisys is the story of the original Terminator film told from the perspective of Kyle Reese a little bit sooner than it started in the 1980s film. So essentially what we see is the imminent fall of Skynet and the defeat of the robots by the human resistance, and John Connor basically pulling Kyle Reese aside and said, dude, this wasn't the real victory. Now you got to go back and save Sarah Connor and make sure that I'm actually born, because that's like important and stuff. And Kyle ably sets out to do that, just like he did in the first movie. But instead of finding a near defenseless Sarah Connor when he arrives, he finds a battle-hardened Sarah Connor who is herself in possession of an old T101 model, which is like an old Arnold Schwarzenegger, who came back much earlier than we thought the whole Terminator thing started up. And I guess the story goes from there. So it's a retelling of the Terminator 1 story, but it's a complete reboot because nothing happened the way it did in the original film, apart from a couple of pieces of homage, basically.
Right, yeah.
So that is Terminator Genisys.
Mike.
How many times do they have to make the same fucking mistake?
What's that?
What's the mistake, Mike? Tell us.
You can't have an enjoyable Terminator movie where you, as the human audience, have natural feelings of fear in the face of insurmountable odds when you've got your own fucking Terminator to back you up. It's bullshit. It just completely ruins the movie. That's why Terminator 1 worked, and the rest of it has just been a joke.
Oh, controversial, Mike, because you're discounting Terminator 2 there.
Terminator 2, yeah.
He had his own...
Terminator 2 was a great film.
He had his own fucking spare Terminator. I was about as worried as, overpaying for petrol at the wrong petrol station.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. Yeah, because it's not the same chase movie, and yeah, you shouldn't be as scared if you've got this other Terminator that'll just take care of it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like the original one was an 18s movie, and it kind of deserved to be
it was. I
movie.
forgot that. Yeah.
Because it was kind of fucking scary.
Yeah.
He will never stop.
My biggest problem was that my biggest problem was that it wasn't an evolution of the original in the action side of things.
Yep.
Because 1 and 2, you came out going, "Oh my god, that was fantastic!" And you knew it was like a combination of like nearly animatronics or whatever you want to call it, and what was the other one? Animatronics and CGI, right? And it was of the type that we hadn't seen before, and that's what was brilliant about Terminator. Not only that Arnie was in it, but it was just brilliant. It was just it took your breath away. You were like, "Wow, I've never seen this kind of thing." Yeah. And then we get to this one, where you started going, "Yeah, I kind of saw that before." And they used a few tricks in it that, I saw them do that before. Yeah. He sort of reverses his body thing. I saw that. So I don't think, I think it kind of fell down there. I like the timeline thing. It's kind of cool. Gives you a bit of thinking to do. Yeah.
It's just as well they were watching 12 Monkeys last season.
Yeah, exactly.
It really helped them out on the script.
I like the whole John Connor thing. I'm not going to go into too much, although if you've watched the trailer, you've seen everything. But I really liked his story and his side story and that kind of thing. That was great.
Yeah. But that was such a mistake, though, putting that in the trailer.
Ah, totally. I mean, they put in nearly every
plot point
in it. Yeah. It was an awful mistake. It was a ruined, really.
I wouldn't advise people to watch the trailer.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer before you go and watch this.
Despite the fact we reviewed the trailer.
I know. Yeah.
Well, we did ourselves a disservice, but I would like our fans to not do that. Yeah. But like when we review the trailer, we don't always say everything that's in it. I can't remember if we did.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
In this one, I don't think we mentioned the key point out.
I think it was mostly along the lines of ooh and ah.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm so hyped. But then you realise, that was all in the trailer. Yeah. Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connors, a young Sarah Connors. I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make.
Yes.
Go on.
I didn't realise that we were watching the Khaleesi until I saw her on Graham Norton.
Yeah,
she's rather different.
She's very different. Yeah, she's not the mother of dragons.
She doesn't look like the mother of dragons wearing clothes and dark hair.
Yep.
Isn't it funny that herself and the Queen What's-Her-Face have both played Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. There you go.
That's right. Queen Cersei was in the TV show.
Sorry? Yeah. In the TV show, yeah.
Yes, it's like a badge of honor.
J.K. Simmons. He was brilliant in it, but I'm not sure why he was in there, because he should have had more of a story, and they didn't elaborate on it, and so he just sort of came in and went, "Oh, hi, I'm a cop, I believe you," and then he was kind of wasted in it. He should have had more screen time, like lots more screen time. Yeah. I wish there was a bit more story about him and his discoveries and going, "Oh, right, so you're from," like the feeling. Yeah. Well, you got the feeling from the first movie where he went, "Oh, he's from the future." you know, and you get that realization. You know what I mean? From people, not you, the viewer.
We want it to be something that the Terminator franchise is no longer.
Right.
Good.
We like the Terminator franchise is okay. My grammar was all over the place there. Let me try and say that again a bit better. We want more from a film that isn't trying to be anymore.
Right.
The Terminator franchise is an action franchise. Like Mike mentioned it at the start there, the original Terminator was about this unstoppable machine that scared the living bejesus out of you because it was just that.
Yeah.
And then as the years go by, they're more and more stoppable, and they get stopped more often because now we have the money to do these high value chases and crashes and all the rest of it.
Well, do you think this is a case in point that they're not enough? Like it's all like there's loads of action in this, right?
For who though? Like
no,
who's paying for tickets?
No, but if you look at like the first Terminator, there was a great story behind all that action.
Yeah.
You know, there was a great sort of building blocks of a great movie in there, you know. Whereas this, I thought they could have fleshed the story out a bit more rather than it being just another Terminator. Yeah. You know, there could have been, like, surely there was other threats in other timelines.
Yeah.
You know, surely it's not just this, case or, you know, or surely there's someone else they could get rid of in the past that would have had an input into the resistance or the building of Skynet or whatever, you know, that kind of way.
I don't think they thought that deeply about it. They basically said, okay, we need a way to justify an old Arnie. Hey, time travel.
Yeah.
Do it. You're hired.
Yeah.
Well, actually, just speaking of Arnie, I thought he was brilliant in it, and I thought his comic relief was brilliant.
Yeah.
I really laughed at.
Bang on the money, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he? Yeah, he was great.
But isn't that kind of a pathetic end to a career? This is a man who built himself
it's not an end
as
to a career.
the Terminator and Conan.
You have him in
and
the
now
grave
he's
already.
fucking comic relief in his own movie franchise.
No.
But like we've brought up a point there, right? So the takings for Terminator Genisys weren't out of this world.
So how much
right?
did it take?
I think they've taken something like 80 million to date or something like that.
Okay,
but I this is just a cursory Google I did there. I'm wide open for correction on that, right? But until those numbers start dropping very drastically, we're going to keep getting this same kind of movie shoveled out at us, you know?
Yeah.
Like we've all called out a couple of places where a bit of a deeper story or a more focused plot would have helped, you know? And like J.K. Simmons, I thought he showed his versatility in this because he's in danger of being cast as the Whiplash character forever now.
Whiplash.
Because that was so famous. But he
would
was
have been a nice
the opposite
touch if
of
he'd
that.
had some drumsticks in his top pocket or something, you know.
But who I think he was actually playing in this film is the psychiatrist from Terminator 2. You remember that character?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He was the guy. He was
Sarah Connor's psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I really like this film. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
It's a thrill ride.
Yeah.
You know, from start to finish. I do wish I hadn't seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Because what I said in my synopsis there, how cool would it have been to discover that in the movie?
Yeah.
When he gets sent back in time and then
Stuff.
he's in, sorry?
And then stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but like in the trailer, we see the scenes recreated from the original film.
Yeah. Actually,
to see those scenes,
very, very close.
and then it takes a hard turn to the left, and you go, "Whoa, the thrill ride really has begun."
Yeah.
But you can't fault their stunts, and you can't fault the special effects.
After watching this, I just felt it was grand. Like it was a Terminator movie, but it didn't have the same impact as the first and second one. It just didn't. It was like they had a clipboard with the, you know, check this, check that.
Yeah.
You know, have we done this bit? Yeah, we have. Have we done the reverse the body thing?
Yeah.
Have we done the sword hand into a sword thing? Yeah, we have. Grand.
It was kind of like a Home and Away episode, but with Terminators in it.
Okay. So, sum it up for me, Mike.
They took our money, goddammit. Once again,
80 million of it, apparently.
Yeah. Once again, we've had our emotions abused by the movie corporations.
Yeah.
And they just take our fond memories of youth and they say, give us $10. Come see more.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same. Fuck you,
But actually,
guys.
they pretend it will be, don't they? And then we realize it'll never be the same when we get there.
Yeah.
So, like, I liked Terminator Salvation, which is not a very well lauded entry into this franchise.
Yeah.
And that was a film where they did try and do something different with Terminator.
Yeah.
And then obviously when the lack of praise rolled around, they went, fine, you want to see a car chase? We'll give you a car chase, and we're going to flip a bus.
Yeah. The music as well. You know, the first one, everyone knows the theme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't remember what they played this time. They played a version of it, I know, at some stage, but there was no coming away from. I'm not going to go out and buy the soundtrack. You know.
Well, I bought the soundtrack for Terminator Salvation, so you're 100% right, and I recognized some of the same core themes.
Yeah.
But it's not as strong.
Mm-hmm. So, in conclusion, what would you give it out of 10, Mark?
Well, for me, it's a high-end 6, right? It's a 6. I think it's an above-average film that most people would enjoy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this to pretty much anybody. It's very easily watched.
Yeah, I agree. It's a 6 for me as well. It's not the blockbuster I thought it might have been, but, you know, it's a grand Terminator movie. It's fine. Yeah. Mike?
I'm trying to set aside my feelings of hurt and betrayal to give it an objective score. I think, just coming to it cold, it's an okay action movie. I'd give it a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 6s and a 5. Right, okay. Pretty average then. Okay, so next up is first of our TV, which is Scream. Mike?
Do you remember a while back there was a movie with Courtney Cox called Scream?
Yes. Or 8 movies with Courtney Cox called Scream, yeah.
Imagine if they took those movies and made a TV show out of them.
But you can't make a TV show out of a slasher, Mike.
Yeah, because the slasher, it's all condensed into 80 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
How can anybody possibly survive that long? Well, they've managed to do it. They've given us a bunch of impossibly good-looking teenagers. A nice remote-ish sort of a town where everybody seems to be really rich.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, everybody's got pools and fucking...
No, but like teenagers living on their own with pools, you know?
Yeah, and you know, flash jeeps and stuff like this. Yeah. And obviously there has to be a legend of serial killer floating around.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, you got to rehash that.
Yeah.
And then just start having young kids getting killed. And,
There's a few other tropes in there as well, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very self-aware.
Yeah.
You know, they are kind of actively taking the piss out of themselves when they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're trying to throw something new at us.
I thought they were quite a closed-minded group. The fact that there's a gay girl in there that was on, you know, caught on tape kissing another girl, and then it went viral, and it was a big scandal. And they all felt a bit awkward when she turned it. You know, That I was surprised at that. I was like, isn't this so like this was made this year, right? You know.
Yeah, but it's rural.
Yeah, still it doesn't fly at me.
Well, that's because you don't live in rural America.
Yeah,
you're in your little fantasy world where everybody's fucking nice to each other.
The other thing that struck me was, the use of social media. See him using Snapchat to chase down the girl. There's a girl and she knows there's someone around, and he keeps sending her Snapchat videos. Of
he's
her
behind you,
and then he's not there, and it's also scary. But that's it's funny that we watched LA Slasher a few weeks ago. Actually, if you're interested, we interviewed the director as well. You can look back in the previous episodes, which used social media in a similar way. In that he was using Twitter to chase down victims and to sort of slag off various aspects of society, whereas in this it's Snapchat is used quite a lot. Yeah, and I just thought it's
probably a little bit more in your face with LA Slasher though. Like that's almost the core of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Whereas this, it's an appendage.
It is, yeah. It's a means to an end, for sure. Yeah. I didn't enjoy this.
No.
There's one or two nice people in it. See, I like nice people in what I watch, right? See, because I want to watch them. I'm not going to watch horrible people. I'm not going to watch assholes. But it's not that they're
You're destined for disappointment every time you turn
I
on
know,
the TV.
but it's not that they were always just being assholey. It's just that it was badly written in places, and that annoyed me as well.
Do you think perhaps that was deliberate?
Maybe they're staying true to the movies.
Yeah.
So
there could be an evil genius behind this, Steve.
I wasn't a big fan of the movies. I watched the first one and I thought that was fine, and then after that it was just a bit right, okay, clipboard out, check all those boxes. But this one didn't fly at me, really. It's a bit 90210-y with a slasher running around the place.
Yeah, with dead bodies.
Yep, that's it. It's quite
dead, good-looking bodies.
It's quite gory, actually.
It is a bit for TV, like.
Yeah.
Is it on before or after The Watershed?
I have no idea. No idea. Yeah. Mark, what did you think?
Well, I'm trying to come up with a hashtag for your campaign to make TV characters nice.
Yeah. They should be. Well, the majority should be, at least. Yeah. Didn't we?
You want like the good characters to be nice, and then the bad guys, the antagonists, to be not nice.
Not necessarily, but it would help. But no, it's just that if it's full of characters that I just don't like, it's not that necessarily they have to be nice, but if I just don't like them, it's like
you want someone to root for.
Well, exactly. There was one I can think of. There's one girl in there. She's kind of one of the main characters. She was nice. She's meant to be nice. You're meant to like her. She's going to be the main character. She's going to be the Courtney Cox of this. Yeah. But all the others, you're like, just slash away there, buddy.
Yeah. It's almost like you're holding out for a hero, Steve.
Yeah.
Is that why you didn't like Breaking Bad? You don't like Walt Whitman?
No, I won't say I didn't like it. I got to.
Sorry, Walter White.
Walter White, yeah. I got to the middle to the end of season 3, and I just got sick of their bickering. It was the negativity that got to me in that.
The not nice negative bickering.
It was just negativity. It was just like, Jesus, they're at it again. I was just like, fuck's sake, get your shit together, and
The next time you are on, why can't I remember the name of everyone's favorites? Netflix.
Yes.
Which I couldn't remember for a second.
Yes.
There's a show you would absolutely love.
The Waltons.
Thank you for taking advantage of my joke setup and inserting a punchline of your own. What I was going to say was Little House on the Prairie. There's no point doing that now because Mike is jumping in there with the Waltons.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry.
Well called, Mike.
No, you're not.
I thought he was going to say something like The Killing or something. Anyway, I was going the other direction. All right.
Yeah. I thought I was heading for sarcasm. I was going to make the same joke that Mike made with less comic timing than I used.
So tell me, you liked Scream?
Oh God, no! I hated this. This is terrible stuff.
Good.
It's
we can still be friends.
It is bitterly predictable.
Yeah.
You need, when you're doing the whole slasher thing, you need there to be an element of not knowing when people are going to get slashed. Because it doesn't always have to be a surprise, but there should at least be tension and an element of the unknown, right? And there was none of that in this. Like, you knew exactly when someone was going to get it. And then they got it. And we moved on to the next person, So with that element missing for me, it lost a lot of what it needed. So, no, I'm not going to watch any more of this ever.
Yeah.
I'm in two minds about this. You see, there are a lot of really, really good-looking people in it.
Tick for Mike.
So I could just put it on mute.
Yeah.
But also, I have a funny feeling this can't just be it.
Yeah.
There's got to be something more to it that they haven't shown us in the first episode.
Right.
So I might watch one more just in the vain hope that there might be some creativity buried in this project that they've just been holding back on us. Call me naive. Call me a dreamer.
So you're
It's
going to
nearly
watch
as
more.
naive as Steve's nice people on TV
Nice
dream.
people on TV, yeah. So you are going to watch more of this?
I'll try one more. It's
Okay.
It's a very, very, very
Is that-
iffy thriller.
Thriller, just to be sure you're going to check it out. You're on the fence, is that it?
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
not on the fence, Mike, surely.
I've fallen off the fence onto the thriller side.
Okay.
Maybe tripped over it.
Yeah, there's no way I'm watching any more of this. Yeah, it's complete failure.
I'm with you, Steve.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, it was a complete waste of my time. It really was. Yeah, so, okay, last of our movies. Minions. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Since the
I
trailers came
sensed that about it.
Yeah.
Was this something you were planning to bring the kid to?
Yeah. And he did. And he loved it.
He did
absolutely loved
get
it.
brought to it.
Let me talk about it. Yeah, so this is... this should have been called, in my opinion, Minions Origins.
Sorry, was I taking you off script there?
You were a little
I
bit.
need to not do that.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I have a thought process. I'm not good at the old... What are you laughing at? Multitasking, that's my problem, yeah. So Minions is a spin-off of the Despicable Me franchise, where the Minions served the villain Gru. So they need a new villain to be Minions 2. So, what they do is they go back and they show us the origins from their cellular beginnings, all the way up to almost was it 60s London is where they end up. So they've a brilliant montage of them coming through the ages, like in the Jurassic period. They see this Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he's fantastic. Let's follow him, and he's big and evil. And then they manage to kind of knock him off and kill him, and then they kill off a caveman, and then they kill off several other out through along the ages. And I thought that was hilarious. So then they get a bit tired, and they've no aim in life, so they decide to, one minion called Kevin decides to strike out and find a new master. So that's where it starts. It started well. I was getting everything I was expecting. I have a couple of problems with it though, in that it got a little bit too slapsticky, and it's quite funny. Like, I love the language that they use. I just love that minion. Yeah, Baba Gina, you know, that kind of stuff. I think it's hilarious. John Hammond played the, what do you call it? The bad guy. What was his character's name? I can't remember.
Blurb.
And Sandra Bullock was the other main protagonist. Scarlet. Thank you. And Blurb or Glurb.
Well, they joked it was
Oh,
Burb.
yeah,
I think it was maybe Brian Burb.
Or something like that, yeah.
Harvey
So
Herb.
I thought he was brilliant at it. I thought he was hilarious. And so she has a plan to steal the crown jewels and become the monarch of England. So, yeah.
I absolutely hated this movie.
Yeah, absolutely hate it.
Yeah, from start to finish. Much like Terminator, anything that was good in the movie was in the trailer.
Right.
Like all the bits about the bosses through the ages dying off, that was in the trailer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah.
And it really went downhill from there. I thought there was a spectacular lack of creativity. You know, they were stealing all kinds of Austin Powers memes and stuff like that.
Well, on purpose, you think?
Oh, definitely on purpose.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
they couldn't be arsed coming up with any new ideas themselves, you know.
Okay.
I'm really not into Minions. The whole yellow tic-tac thing just doesn't do it for me. And
Do you not think they're like naked Ewoks?
maybe.
You'd have probably enjoyed that if you put that picture in your head before you watched it.
And the language annoyed me.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, papaya.
Oh, papaya, cucaracha.
Yeah, I love that. Sí,
Oh.
gracias. Yeah.
I would have preferred something a bit more Star Warsy, like Timmy. And yeah, I mean, I went with it for a while, but after half an hour, 45 minutes, it was really starting to grate on me.
Really?
It was just like, would you fucking speak English, Jesus?
But it's funny, even though it's not English or any other language that you recognize, but you understood what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Was this a subtitled cartoon?
No, it wasn't subtitled.
They had a makey-uppy Spanish, French, Latin patois thing going on.
Yeah. So you
oh
kind
my
of knew,
God.
you know.
Yeah, without subtitles.
It's like when you read words without vowels in them, and you know what they are. Yeah. My biggest problem with it is that it had such promise, but unfortunately there was no character depth to it that like you had in Despicable Me.
Yeah.
You know, where you're rooting for Gru, you know, or you're rooting for one person in particular, and here's this big group of people, or even the little girl, you know. Here, little girl, and I get you breakfast. You know, that was fantastic. You know, but I just didn't feel it in this, and know,
there's another thing. They set it up as a group movie.
Yeah,
you know, right through the intro, it's the pack, all the minions together.
Yes,
and then they separate out three.
Yes,
and the story follows those three.
Yeah,
and the pack doesn't show up. You know.
Yeah.
Till it's pointless.
Yeah, Stuart, Kevin, and Bob.
So I mean, I can see why they did it because it's hard to generate a story about a pack.
Right.
But I thought it was a bit lazy and very boring.
All right. Okay.
However, that said, I am definitely not the target audience. Your young lad is.
This was my
the
next
big question is, did he like it?
That's what I want to know too.
He absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
He's 6. He just loved it.
Why isn't he on the podcast?
He's copying the voices at home and papagena and this kind of thing, and he's got little minion toys and so on. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it, and I'm sure he'd watch it every day, all day at the moment if he was let, you know. I mean, you know, I guess this doesn't have the same, you know, jokes that carry over to other demographics. This is more of a purely children's movie. I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't watch this again. I'd probably watch the highlights on YouTube or something. You know, the best bits. You know, but I would watch Despicable Me again, and I've seen it a couple of times already, and I think it's hilarious. But Gru is such a brilliant character. So I think it succeeded in its what do you call it?
Its aim.
Its aim, totally, yeah.
Well, I think the thing is with those movies, you know, you've two audiences going. You have the kids and their parents.
Yeah.
So, you know, they got the kids, check. But the key thing is, can they keep the parents from passing out while they're bringing the kids?
Well, that's this. This is one of these movies that you bring the kids to the cinema, and you say, "Now this is your time."
Yeah,
you know. So I'm going to just sit through this, you know, with you. You know, it's a bit of a Willy Wonka kind of thing, you know. I'm sure it's going to be on TV at Christmas, every Christmas. You know, sure.
I mean, the only way I can see this working is if, you know, there's a birthday party, you bring 15 little 6-7-year-olds to it.
Yeah.
You let them run riot in the cinema, and you just find a little corner in the back of the cinema with a bottle of vodka under your coat.
A nice little hip flask for yourself.
And it'll take all the pain away.
Nice little drop of Jameson on the slide. The straw down the inside pocket. I'm with you on that. So, do you want to give this a mark?
Well, will I give it a kid's mark or an adult's mark?
You better give it an adult's mark, I guess.
Yeah,
you know, what you thought of it?
What I thought,
if you think it applies, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was shit. I hated it.
All right.
If you asked me, it was a 3. If I had watched it when I was 7 years old, I'd probably have given it a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So,
and for that reason, I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
So on the scale of rubbish that you have to go and watch because your kid wants to see it.
Yeah.
Where does it rank on the pain factor?
It would rate. I'd probably in the 8 area then. Yeah. If I had to go and see it, and when you consider some of the awful tripe that comes out now and again, this would be up near the top of the list, I'd imagine.
No, it's not in the same league as the Shreks and Toy Stories of this world. And
oh God, I know Shrek. Yeah. Shrek is just painful.
What? Right, forget I asked the question. You're clearly not qualified to answer.
I think I've just seen it too many times. You know,
that'll do, Donkey.
Well, maybe that's fair enough. That is
when you're talking about movies like Nut Job, The Nut Job. Yes, there is such a movie, Mike, and it's a kids' movie, Mike. And,
no, he's seen a version of that.
And SpongeBob and all those. Yeah, for sure, I'd prefer the Minions. Yeah.
Mike has seen a version of that one too called Sponge Job.
Sponge job. Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay. So
Nighttime on Ward 18.
next up, we have some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So the first one we saw was Suicide Squad. Mark,
Oh, yes, we did.
what did you think of this, Mark? Did you love this?
Well, I am not a fan of the wider DC Comics mythos. So things like the Suicide Squad and, Firefly and all those other guys,
Yeah.
if they didn't fight with Batman a lot or Superman a lot, I don't really know who they are. But as like a generic superhero movie, this looks like it might be what we're waiting for, where they take the superhero tropes and add in a story we might be able to get our teeth into. Because they're starting out now with superheroes here. The Suicide Squad is a team of supervillains who are being used to try and solve problems. And the trailer shows us that they do it in their own inimitable fashion and that they're essentially really bad people. And it finishes up with our first look of Jared Leto playing the Joker.
Yeah, I was going to say it's almost like a squad of Jokers. I loved the thoughts of this where you have a dark superhero team. I love it. I can't wait to see this. I don't know the Suicide Squad,
Yeah, well, I'm the same. I know the theory behind them.
Yeah.
I know that they're like the Thunderbolts in Marvel, which I know really well.
Okay.
But it's a slightly different take. They featured in one of those superhero TV shows. There was a version of the Suicide Squad in Arrow, I think.
Okay.
A version of it, I think.
But this,
But anyway,
I just can't believe that I'm looking forward to a superhero movie.
I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be
great.
great. It's not out till 2016, and Warner Brothers got all upset because people made video recordings of their trailer that was only for people at Comic-Con.
Oh dear.
So this trailer was released to the fans of Comic-Con, and the plan was that nobody else would see it because this is a 2016 film. But people recorded it and released poor quality footage online. Warner Brothers said, "Look what they have done to our art." And they decided they would release the trailer to the world in high quality so that everyone would see a true reflection of the vision they were trying to achieve with the Suicide Squad. I hope they've learned their lesson. You release it on Comic-Con, and a little bit later, like hours later, you release it everywhere else.
Is it not a thing, though, like, they only make these team movies if all of them are shite and not good enough to carry a movie themselves? So let's just package them all together. Like the Avengers.
You're talking about Avengers?
Yeah.
You're wrong. Like Iron Man is one of the highest grossing films around, and
I'm
Tony
just trying to
Stark
get
is
at
in
you.
the Avengers.
I'm just trying to get at you, Mark.
The only thing that's sort of I doubts about this was when I saw that Will Smith is in.
Why would you doubt Will Smith?
I sort of did a bit of a okay, and then I saw
Why
Ben
would you doubt
Affleck's
Will
in it.
Smith?
And then I saw Margot Robbie's in it. All right.
So-
No, you're not glossing over it
no,
like
I'm
that.
not glossing over it and getting around to it. I'm just
All Will Smith does is make great movies. Why do you hate him?
no, I didn't. You're putting words in my mouth. No, I said I was sort of like I don't know if I'm going to like this because I haven't liked his last four movies.
Well, you didn't like that fantastic movie with him and his kid on the New Earth?
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Is Mark cursing at us?
I think he is. He's muted himself. He's gone so mad. Look at him.
I had to so I could shout. I need to shout and vent some of my steam.
I do like that Jared Leto's in it, and Ben Affleck, and Margot Robbie. You have to be in to watch this if Margot Robbie's in it.
I might just stick with the trailer.
You're kidding me. Did you see her playing? She
Mike.
plays Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Outtakes, maybe.
You serious, Mike? Yeah. He's changing his mind. I knew it. Yeah.
Fuck you, Steve.
Okay. So the next one we looked at was The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's about time that was made.
Yeah.
So in the early 1960s, CIA agent Napoleon Solo, that's a great last name, and KGB operative Ilya Kuryankin, participate in a joint mission against a mysterious criminal organization who's working to proliferate nuclear weapons. This looks good. It's directed and written by Guy Ritchie. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I got your one from the robot movie.
From the robot, Alicia Vikander. That's it. Yeah.
I noticed a distinct lack of thigh-high leather boots, though.
And more than enough dosage of Hugh Grant.
Yeah. I kind of have a soft spot for Hugh.
Me too.
You know?
His eyes, Hugh.
Yeah. He's kind of like the village idiot. You just have to feel sorry for him, you know.
This looks good. It looks great. It looks like a new Bond franchise type thing. I know it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Bond. But
we don't have enough Bond movies. Like, they only give us one every 2 years or whatever.
That's it. And I think there's more than enough room, like with the Bourne movies. And I think this.
And how long do we have to wait for Mission Impossible?
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, you know what? I don't think Mission Impossible. Mark may not like this comment. I don't think it stands up like Bond nor Bourne Identity. I think it's a little bit.
It's like a tier 2 spy genre.
Nearly tier 2, but it's like tier 1.5. You know, it's not quite on the first tier. You know.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of the Cruiser, Mark. But I think this guy, Henry Cavill, might have it. He's got the suaveness. He's got the Roger Moorishness.
Unusually suave for an American.
All Tom Cruise does is make great movies, Steve. Why do you hate him?
This is going to become a thing over the season. So will you watch this?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mark?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Like, it's my kind of thing. It is my kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no, I just watched the trailer, right? You know, you can't say the trailer is the film. Or at least you shouldn't be able to say that.
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought you'd be like a Rottweiler on a side of beef for this.
I'm jaded with the periods that they're talking about, for starters.
Yeah,
I have enough of that.
I did find it strange they didn't try and update it.
Yeah, why didn't they just bring it into the 11s or the teens?
I don't think they need to. It's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's Cold War.
Yeah, but I'm just expressing a disparate view where I think they should have.
All right, okay.
I'm sick of the Cold War. There's just too much Cold War rubbish.
Right.
Why don't they just end the Cold War?
So speaking of which, right, what this reminded me of was The Game, but with more suaveness and more action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly not as much nastiness.
Possibly not. Actually, no, definitely not as much nastiness. Yeah. But it's that kind of thing. I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The Game, and what was the one a few years ago?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
That's the one. Yeah, love it. Love it.
Oh God, I hated that film.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So what was the last one we watched? Oh yeah, Mike's favorite. This is called Brooklyn. It stars Saoirse Ronan, Donald Gleeson, and Michael Zagin.
Star might be an exaggeration, Steve.
Okay, they partake.
Present.
In 1950s
the aforementioned actors and she-actors were beleaguered by this film.
Well, Saoirse...
They were afflicted.
Poor old Saoirse had to go to New York. And from Ireland back in the 50s, and she's no hope of going home and so on, and she had to get a job and so on, and she's living in a women's commune, it looks like. But... for an Irish girl, she's got a really, really bad Irish accent.
Yeah, top of the morning to you.
Yeah, top of the morning. The real Tom Cruise kind of a thing about it, you know. I don't know what part of it you don't
maybe
understand.
Maybe she meets Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And they go out into Oklahoma territory.
But Donald Gleeson is in this, and he looks great. I think he plays the small town, you know, semi-suave kind of guy. You know. Yeah, I think he'd rock in this. Actually, he would have been good in Circle of Friends as well. Anyway, yeah, it looks okay. Will I go to cinema to see it? I don't know. I know you won't. I will leave it there.
I think the best way to express Michael and my own ire with this film is that if movies were STDs, this would be chlamydia. Symptomless, but damaging to your body nonetheless.
I once had to get a cyst removed from my eye
Jesus.
with a scalpel and no anaesthetic. And I'd actually rather go through that again than watch this movie.
Well, this was written by this is the saving grace for it. It's written by Nick Hornby, so I'm willing to give it a good go.
The guy who made the trains, is it?
No, the guy about a boy. He made High Fidelity.
Okay.
He's got loads of brilliant stuff.
Didn't like any of
in
them.
his back catalogue. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd be willing to give this a go. All right, Jim.
Good luck with that, Steve.
Good luck with that. I'll let you know how it goes on.
Yeah,
how about that? Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about this week before we finish?
I'm sure there is, Steve.
Okay.
Just not from Mark.
Just not from Mark. Okay. All right, we'll leave it there. Hopefully
What are we going to be reviewing next week? I think that's something we should talk about.
next week? Ant-Man.
Oh, we're going to review Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's
God,
on the
is it
list.
that time again? I'm calling in sick.
It's that time.
It is. And what was the other one? I have a good old Swedish one I put on
Porno?
the list there. What?
Porno?
No, it's not porno.
All right.
Swedish. So it's a subtitled film or TV show?
TV show.
TV show. There's a chance I'll watch it. Is it 45 minutes now or is it a miniseries?
It's a series. It's a series, and it's doing really, really well. So no
How
doubt,
long are the episodes?
I think it's about 45. Yeah.
I'll watch 45 minutes of it.
Yeah.
With
Do that.
subtitles, that's really as high as I can go.
Do that. It's actually on.
I can't believe Mark's negotiating over the length of his
It's
subtitles.
called Jord Scott.
It would be, yeah.
Jord Scott, and it's about a
That's
detective
the
who
kind of thing
returns to her
it'd be called.
hometown 7 years after her daughter's disappearance, trying to find a connection to a current case. Yeah, dun dun dun.
Oh,
So,
God, I wouldn't even be interested in that if it was English.
and it stars loads of people whose names look like IKEA furniture names.
Hjalmar Helmerstein.
Yeah, Borgenskun Ritz little.
Yeah.
So,
Distinctly
Björn
racist
Henrik
tone in the
Stetter.
podcast all of a sudden.
I know. No, it's just bigotry. It's not racist. It's just bigotry. So yeah,
To buy them Lutherans.
yeah, I can't wait. And actually, I've got loads of other stuff to catch up on this coming week. I've got Halt and Catch Fire to catch up on. I've got True Detective to catch up on. There's going to be another Wayward Pines. What else is there?
Dominion Season 2 is starting up.
Oh, The Strain as well. Season 2. Yeah.
Catch up on the strain.
Yeah.
Ephraim
Yeah.
is doing some good work,
have
lads.
you done Fight Ship Season 2 yet?
I haven't done Fight Ship yet. No, I was
Oh
hoping.
my God,
Sitting
fight the
there
ship.
waiting for you, man.
No, I was hoping Z Nation would be back, but there's no sign of that.
Oh, come on, Steve.
No, it wasn't really. What kind of secretly it was. And what else is back? There's something else that I saw.
And we're so far away from the debut of Fear the Walking Dead.
What's that?
The Walking Dead spin-off show starting in August.
Oh, really?
Ah.
Oh, cool.
You would think that eminent podcasters of TV and film would be aware of said show.
That's why we listen to movie podcasts, to
Yeah.
find out about this shit.
Yeah, there's a spin-off has been approved and made.
Is this
called
like the
Fear
Better-
the Walking Dead?
The Better Call Saul of
Yeah, it's a different group.
The Walking
I
Dead.
don't know if there's going to be any crossovers,
Okay.
but it's a different group of people. And I believe they're starting from earlier. Excuse me, listeners, for yawning into the mic.
Is this focusing on Bob the zombie, who was a former insurance salesman and is now concerned about his advancing eczema?
No, I think they're starting a little bit earlier in the apocalypse because we saw the story through Rick Grimes, who was the audience proxy early in the show. And he was in a coma when the apocalypse kicked off. So by the time he woke up, things were already fairly far post-apocalyptic. So I believe that it's going to start a little bit earlier in the zombie crisis.
Oh,
Cool.
right. We'll leave it there for this week.
Also, I'm probably going to watch some Game of Thrones. I have a lot of episodes of Game of Thrones to watch. Just
play-
going to watch them.
Play a bit.
Whenever I
of
want, really.
play a bit of
I can watch a
Batman.
new episode of Game of Thrones.
Play a bit of Batman.
Thrones, yeah.
Oh, we might get to Zoo
Game of
as well
Thrones, yeah.
if Mike chooses to. Zoo, yeah, it's a new TV series.
Is that a U2 album?
No, it was as well, but I'll fill you in on it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, we're going to leave it there. So from Mike, Mark, and Steve, stay classy.
Brought to you by Ryanbacker.
Do you ever worry that people are going to see all the drinking you guys do and go, that explains it?